You know,
But
but I hear like in South Korea, they're going to start playing baseball with fans in the stands. You know,
why did you do the eye thing there?
what do you mean?
Anyone who ever sees the video, you probably just hear in the audio version. Disco did the Chinese eyes thing. It was disgusting.
I did not.
But
Anybody's listen on audio. That's fake news.
but that's the whole thing, though. Is that I think with this social justice warrior culture, it doesn't make sense to be like, yeah, there's people ill and there's people out of work and all this stuff, but you misgendered me. It's time to cancel you. It's like, no, it's not the time for some fucking
Well,
transsexual.
nobody's talking about shit like that right now. Everybody's talking about this. It's not going to cancel social. But social justice culture is just a bunch of people looking for stuff to complain about, and just waiting to find the triggers to start complaining. And it's really kind of like a troll culture on. There was. Did you watch Homeland?
Fuck no,
Okay, that's a great show.
no.
The show Homeland.
I watched Total Davis.
Okay, well, it's typical. Like you Marks just watch wrestling and like Total Divas. Like you don't watch anything else.
No, I only watch it for Nikki Bella's mom. She's hilarious. But anyway,
Right.
go ahead. Homeland.
Basically the last couple seasons has been based around kind of like an Alex Jones type character, and like how social media trolling works. Like how there's people out there, there's troll armies, and basically people have like these, you know, like when they talk about Russian trolls, the Russians will have like like a room full of like just tons of people, like 50. You know, well, let's just hypothetically call it like 50 people in a room, right? And they're all managing social media various different social media accounts, right? And the way like the trolling and like the online and the way things gain like, you know, hashtagging and stuff and thing, like stuff will come out and the troll army will immediately like hashtag and start start hitting the internet with it to pump up the story. And the story could be fake. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this whole culture that exists. It's like you don't like, especially on online, you don't know if it's like the transgender stuff, right?
Yeah.
The the transgender stuff is blown way out of proportion because there's not a lot of transgenders. It's a very, very super small segment of society. But look at all the attention it gains on social media. That's how that's how they make this stuff more important than it is. They keep talking, the bots will hit, it's just that's how you do. You flood it's like what Alex Jones has. It's called Infowars. It's information wars. It's trying to get the strength of your argument out there, like above the others. And again, in the process of that, what it does is create conflict. So it's like, social justice warriors we don't know what a like true social justice warrior is, because some of the social justice warriors could just be you never know. They could just be like fake accounts acting weird, because you look at some of these accounts, they do seem like, ever since I started getting into this and like the trolling culture and stuff, everything, I'm very dubious. Like you see an account, you read the account. I don't know if that's just some troll online just making up a thing, just posting that. You know what I'm saying? So like the social justice warriors are like they're a smaller percentage of the society, but the right wing trolls will try to pump these accounts up and try, the silliness and like the the outrageousness of some of the social justice warriors things that they talk about. They'll just blow them up and blow it up, but they make it seem like these there's way more people to talk about it, but really it's not. It's not that big of an issue,
Do you think that extreme liberalism is a mental disorder?
No, not a mental disorder. Okay, but what it is getting involved in extreme liberal culture on social media. And you just get brainwashed. That's all it is. It's this program. It's funny because they do that. I've always thought this was very interesting. That they use the word like when you watch TV, it's called television programming, and it's like we think like a program is something you watch on TV, a TV program. But what does program mean? Program is like they're trying to program me. You're giving me information to program my thought process. So it's like, I'm very. It's like when I go on social media, I read things. I've got like a natural firewall where I don't believe things I read until I investigate, look, search, and everything until I find the truth. So, but a lot of people will just believe everything they read if they follow accounts they like and stuff. It just drives their thought process, and it basically brainwashes them into a thought process, which is why Google, YouTube, Twitter, all these places, they have algorithms set up looking for keywords and stuff and everything that set up. And what they try to do, they give you suggestions to try to keep you in their train of thought. So what you do is like, it's very simple. It's a simple philosophy. If you divide people, okay, if you have everybody in one big giant group, okay, it's very difficult to program all those people because you don't know you did their thing. So what you do is you create conflict, right? So with conflict comes division. So now they're separated. So now you know how to program a certain group and program another group with your suggestions now. And then that's why division works so well for social media and television stuff and everything, is because it divides people into, it's easier to program them because they're a smaller group of people. And you can identify them more easily.
Kind of like when they did the Total Bellas spinoff from Total Divas.
I don't watch either show. What was better, Total Bellas or Total Divas? I like John Cena. I watched a couple episodes of John Cena on Total Bellas because he was funny. But I don't really watch. I don't watch the shows.
Well, it had moments of, see, the thing, because it was like a 95% work with a small bit of reality.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality was like the time when Daniel Bryan, because of his concussion issues,
mm-hmm.
he had to leave. He was going through like a mental breakdown or whatever you call that. Mm-hmm. That I found interesting, but the other stuff, such as Eva Marie's dating life, was all fake and a work, but I'd still fuck the shit out of her,
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, earlier on I had to take a note. You called me a mark, which I don't know how you would get that sort of idea, but I've got to ask you a few wrestling questions. So are you ready to mark it on up?
Sure, why not?
Right, well, one of the things I've been doing is a lot of later era WCW I didn't get to see. So I've been rewatching parts of it on the network, and it's not great for me, but Scott Steiner in 2000, there's a good chance he was the best in the fucking world. He was terrifying. He was real. I could have took him in a shoot, but other people couldn't. And I just thought that it's like he's the one thing that they got really, really right, while
mm-hmm.
other shit wasn't going well. Like, they didn't put the belt on Disco Inferno. Big mistake. Big mistake. But I'm going to ask you, and of course you were on the WCW booking committee, and I'd love to know, why did Scott Steiner versus Hulk Hogan never happen, or was that ever discussed or planned? Or
they were both heels at the time, I believe, and Steiner didn't like Hogan. That would not have worked. There were some guys that Steiner did not like, and he let everybody know he didn't like him, so we just didn't even bother booking him against those guys.
No, but
he was a bully. Scott Steiner was a backstage. He bullied himself, but he was good. It's like he was a bully. He bullied himself in getting stuff that he wanted, but they usually gave him stuff that he liked. You know what I'm saying? But there was stuff that he did not want to do. You would not convince him to do it. But he was still doing great TV. His interviews were like, if you watch the promos he would cut before the matches, bro, the people are just like, they're just like, he knew how to get that crowd in a frenzy, that they just did not like him, Do
you think that Steiner could have ever gone into MMA?
No, he'd have messed up.
Back.
He had physical issues. He had like screws in his feet and stuff and everything. He had like physical problems. It was amazing that he was like a robot. That if you looked at the stuff that was wrong with him, it's amazing that he went out there and performed. It's like other people would be just kind of like crippled, you know.